Good morning. Hi, I'm Kristin Omdahl, and welcome back to Create, Share, Inspire podcast. This is episode 254, and we're here live in Southwest Florida at Bonita Beach this morning, waiting on the sun to rise over the buildings and the trees to the east. And this is the Gulf of Mexico behind me today. It is a strange looking morning. We've got some unusual colors. Don't know if you can still see the sky to the southeast has been purple and pink, and now it's turning kind of golden peach back there where the sun's about to come up. And then over here it's looking really stormy. Good morning, Lisa, Judy, Gail, Freezaby, Lily, Ruthie. Thanks everybody for joining me live. Good morning, Judy and Ruthie and Karen. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning, Lily. Thanks for joining me live. So when we left this morning, good morning, Vio. It looked really stormy, so we were checking the radar to make sure what kind of day Marlon was going to have, being outside all day. And the radar showed nothing. And I was like, you know, we can't see sky in any direction. The clouds look thick and stormy. How could the radar show nothing? But anyway, it showed nothing. And it's very stormy inland. It looks very stormy, but it's gorgeous down here. So we'll see what happens. But thanks everybody for joining me live. It's chilly for us today too. It's our first day of chillier weather. Jane's working with Biso Bear yarn today. Great. Thanks, Lisa. I'm back to my bright lipstick today. Maybe that's what it is. I have Candy Yum Yum liner on and Lavender Jade lipstick over the top of that. Nice and bright. Frosty morning up north for Karen. Hi, Libe Romero. Ruthie's liking her early morning temps. Yeah, I think it's 71 here right now, which is crazy chilly for us. Sherry wants to know how Marlon did this weekend. Well, he did extremely well in his first match. He played a very powerful player in his second match who he lost to a year ago, 0-0, and this time he won 5 games on him, but still lost, so it was definitely a major improvement over the last time he played him, which is awesome. And considering he hadn't slept all week, it was a miracle that he even showed up at all, so all around good. We started melatonin this weekend to try to help with sleep, and 2 nights in a row it's worked for him. One night it worked for me, Saturday night it worked for me, and last night it did not. So I slept from 10 to 2, and I've been up since 2. Not so great. Anyway, I'll try it again tonight. Hopefully it'll help me tonight. Yeah, Naomi, I agree. Considering everything Marlon's been through, it was just great that he went, great that he stuck with it, and he performed extremely well under the conditions. So all around successful weekend in my opinion. Definitely. Karen slept well last night. Good for you. Hi, Beatrice. Sherry hasn't been sleeping well either. Have you tried melatonin? It's supposed to be, you know, the most natural way to get a sleep aid. And from my experience, it doesn't always work for me, and I'm debating whether or not I can take 2 instead of 1. If it's just because something's natural doesn't mean it's safe to take too much of it. So I've got to do a little research and figure that out. But I might need 2. That might be, can't take it long term. Okay, good to know, Jane. Yeah, I would prefer to not give it to him for very long either. But I'm going to give it to him for a couple of days just to get him a few nights sleep first, and then we'll go from there. Like, try doing it without. I thought about making him a turkey too. I should make a turkey this week and get him some of that natural sleeping, whatever that is in there. Tryptophan, isn't that what it is? That's supposed to help with sleep too. So I anticipate making a turkey this week. Okay, Freezaby doesn't do melatonin either. Doesn't work for Beatrice either. Okay, not just me then. Maybe I should try meditation again. I haven't meditated in a while. That's probably a good idea. And I'll get him some turkey. Okay, tryptophan. Yep, I said it right. wouldn't have spelt it right, but I said it right. So, waited a couple of minutes before announcing that I have been a busy bee all weekend. What's new? I'm always busy on the weekends. Anyway, I was able to finish 80 handmade gifts, order a proof copy. It'll be here today. I paid extra for it to get here as quickly as possible. So my proof of the printing will arrive today. I was able to upload the ebook to Ravelry last night. I also uploaded all of the knit and crochet projects to Ravelry last night. So the reason I say that is because Ravelry won't accept crafts that aren't knitting and crochet. So when you go to the Ravelry page for 80 handmade gifts, you'll only see a little more than half of the projects because they only accept projects that are knit and crochet, which is fine. It's a place where this has to happen, right? So if you want to go and see all the project details and photos of the knit and crochet projects, they are on the book page for 80 handmade gifts on Ravelry. I am working on a similar page on my website. It'll be kristinomdahl.com/80 handmade gifts, and on that page I'll have photos and details of all of the projects, of all of the chapters there. In the meantime, you can order the ebook on Ravelry now. You can also pre-order the book on my website, and while it's in pre-order state, I'm offering a free ebook with the book. Once the book is in stock on Amazon and in stock on my website, the ebook will only be sold individually. They won't be combined. So it's a special offer during the pre-order only, that if you order the pre-order from me directly right now, I will email you either a code from Ravelry or email you the PDF, whichever you prefer, of the ebook. If anybody has any questions about that, please let me know. I did post a link to that 80 handmade gifts page on my website in the show notes this morning for this video. And when you go to that page, it'll show you where to pre-order the book on my website. It'll show you where to order the ebook on Ravelry. So if anybody has any questions about that, let me know. And then as soon as I have my copy today and I can check all of the colors and the printing and stuff like that, I will be able to launch it. And when I have that printed copy, I'll be able to start showing you the book tomorrow. So I will show you the book, and then we'll start working on showing the projects. And then I thought what might be fun is to set up some sort of a survey. Like I use that website SurveyMonkey, and I think what I'll do is set up a survey. Yes, my website, kristinomdahl.com, that's correct. So if you look at the link in the show notes here, it's kristinomdahl.com/80 handmade gifts to find out more information about the book, or if you just go to the shopping page, it'll be the top listed item. How much is the book? The book is $23.99 in print and $13.99 for the ebook. Actually has technically 85 projects in it, but I decided to keep it a nice even round number, and there's 5 bonus projects in there. I'd rather have more than less. So thank you, Lisa. I worked really hard on keeping the price there. As you know, I've been worried about this for a long time, how to get as many projects in there and still keep the price reasonable for it. And I did all this with keeping the font large so it's easy to read. For those of you that don't understand printing or publishing, this may not make any sense, but the entire book is done in 14-point font. And I gotta tell you, that was not easy to do, but the entire book is 14-point font. There is no shading under a single letter in the entire book. It is easy to read, easy to read. And I worked really hard to make sure that it would be a pleasure to read and a valuable book, a great reference tool, and I hope you all enjoy it. I'm very excited about it. So it's $23.99 for the printed book, $13.99 for the ebook. Technically 85 projects in it, but it's called 80 handmade gifts. There are 4 chapters, and they're pretty evenly. 14-point font Beatrice is much larger than most books, and when you compare it next to other books, you'll see what I mean. It's a lot larger. I want to say some books are probably 8-point font. In fact, when I did Motif Magic, I tried to do it in 14-point font, but I couldn't keep it in a page range that was still a good valuable, so I moved it down to 12-point font, which was still significantly larger than most books on the market, and also made sure that there was no graphics and no shading and none of the fancy graphic design stuff underneath the text, because I wanted it to be as pleasant as possible for reading. Because you know how we talk about when you're learning something, you want to only learn one thing at a time, right? And so I figured to make the process of learning something new as stress-free as possible, because it's not a stress-free thing to learn new things, I wanted you to only have to concentrate on one thing at a time. And to make it easy to read meant you wouldn't have to struggle with reading it as well as learning something new. So anything I can do to really just streamline the learning process to one thing at a time, I thought would be helpful. So going back to the, I stopped to answer some questions about price. I wanted to mention that as we do how-to videos for everything in the book, what I thought I'd do is set up some surveys for each chapter. There's 4 chapters in the book. The first chapter is on cooking and recipes. The second chapter is all crochet projects. The third chapter is all knitting projects. And then the fourth chapter is a combination of sewing projects, paper crafts, and a few other things. So I'm going to set up, it's a soft cover, Sherry. It's like a, yeah, it's a soft cover. Just like Motif Magic. If you have a copy of Motif Magic, it'll look very similar to that, just a few more pages. So getting back to what I was saying, I want to set up a survey for each of the 4 chapters so that you can choose your priority of what you would like to see done as a video tutorial or a live tutorial first. So that way I can understand what you want me to teach you first, and we can go from there, because eventually I'd like to have videos on all of the projects. Some of them I already have videos on, but as we go along, I thought it would be fun to give you what you want to see first. So I will set up some surveys and send them out to you, probably in a newsletter. So if you're, I think a bug went in my mouth. So make sure you're signed up for my mailing list. You can get to it from the top of any page on my website. You can also find it in the link in all of my video descriptions. Yeah, I think it's gone. I think I swallowed it though. Oh well. Yeah, so sign up for my mailing list. That's where I'll be sending out the survey. And then you can be making your request for which projects I do videos on first. It's going to be a lot of fun. And needs help with everything. But she can read knitting patterns. Okay. Yeah, exactly, Cindy. That's what I say too. Jane said it too. Yeah, a little extra protein. Yeah, nothing you can do. The bug's going in and you don't see it. Oh well. Good morning, Michelle. Thanks for joining live. Hi, Jackie. Thanks for joining live today. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do about bringing stuff down to the beach to show you. So maybe I'll do some extra live and some extra live streams to show you the projects from my studio. Anne wants to know if she should block acrylic yarn. You can. It depends on what you need it to do. There's a term in the industry called killing acrylic, I think is what it's called, and that's when you steam block it, and it does affect the fiber, so it kind of melts it a little bit, but it does make it, it does flatten it out quite a bit. But if you're looking to just wash it and see how it reacts with water, you don't actually have to use steam. You can just wet block it and lay it flat to dry, just like with anything else. Depends on what you're trying to make it do. What skill level are all the projects in my new book? That's a great question, Moose Gal. They are almost entirely beginner projects. And if it's something that maybe you don't already know, it's a small version of that. So like there's a Tunisian project in the book, a Tunisian crochet project. And it's Tunisian double crochet. So if you don't know Tunisian, it's new for you, but it's still a simple project and it's a small project. So it's a great introduction to it. So I focused this book entirely on things that you can make quickly because I love to give handmade gifts, and I have been giving handmade gifts my entire life, long before I was even in the craft industry. And you don't always know far in advance when you need to make a project or have a gift for somebody. So I focused everything on things that don't take long to make. The thing that takes the longest to make in there, I mean, there might be a couple of things that you have to, like there's a food item that you have to wait overnight for. But okay, so you don't make that one when you need something later in the same day. But there's tons of things that don't take long at all. I also wanted to make things that were universally appealing to other people. So there's things that are unisex, or things that you can make for someone when you don't care, when you don't need to know what size they are. Where do you find the book? Moose Gal wants to know. There's a link in the video description here to go to the page all about 80 handmade gifts on my website, and it'll show you where to go to pre-order the book on my website, and also where to get the ebook if you're interested on Ravelry. I'm getting the proof copy today in the mail. As long as the photography and the colors are good, I will be launching it on Amazon later today, and if I do that, then that'll just be a couple-day process till it's there as well. So the link in the video description below, it should be the top link. Otherwise, just go to my website and you can find it there too. Does anybody have any other questions? I don't know if I completely answered the question about skill level of the projects, but in my opinion, they are all easy to make. Whether or not you know that particular technique or not is one thing or another, but they are all easy to make and quick to make. Definitely going to be quick projects. Most of them are kid-friendly, things that you could teach your children or grandchildren or Girl Scout or Boy Scout troops to make. There are lots of things that you could do for group settings and teaching classes. Even in the sewing, yeah, there's nothing hard to do in the sewing. I mean, it's just following instructions, right? So they're all small projects. I don't think that there is a sewing project in there that even takes an hour. Now, assuming you know how to sew, right? If you don't know how to sew, then it might take a little longer than that. And we're gonna do tutorials on those too. I can teach you, if you need a video on any of them, we're going to set up those surveys so you can choose which ones you think you need video help for. Oh, Sherry, if you know how to sew, these are easy projects. There's not a garment in the whole book. There are 2 shawls. There's 1 knit shawl and 1 crochet shawl. So those would probably be the longest projects in the book. But I couldn't make a book and not put a shawl in there. Come on now, right? And some gifts you want to give need to be bigger gifts, right? But for the most part, everything is small. The book itself would make a great gift for a crafter. That's a great point, Judy. Yes, this is a gift you could give any crafter. Absolutely. Definitely. Thanks, Lisa. Yeah, so you can get pictures of all of the knit and crochet projects on Ravelry now. I am working on that page on my website, which will have all of them, photos of all of them. You can see that the page is in process right now. I have links to where to pre-order the book and where to download the ebook. I also have the project names listed for each chapter, but I don't have all the photos up there yet. But they are coming. They're coming. It's a lot of work. Not that I'm complaining, but it is a lot of work. I've spent a lot of hours. I mean, the book making process is long, as you've seen, making all the projects, writing all the patterns, editing, photography, book layout, all of that. But then the marketing part is a whole other job, and so I'm working hard behind the scenes getting it all up and running. So you're seeing in real time. You're not, you know, the one thing that you may have realized from this podcast so far is that everything I share is in real time, so it's not perfectly polished, but I think it's fun that way. The thing about a Facebook group went way too fast. I couldn't read it, I'm sorry. I'm glad for Easy. I think it's fun to see things in real time and to appreciate the process behind things. So I'm glad that you appreciate it. I figure if you're still here after a few podcasts, you probably appreciate it too. There are plenty of places to find things polished and perfect, and that's great. There's a time and a place for everything, but it's just not what I'm going for with my podcast. I like to keep things real and show the imperfect side of how things go, because I think it empowers people to see that everybody's life is imperfect, right? I think it can be very intimidating when you look at other people and think that they have something better or something more, and to be able to relate to people and see that everybody's life is the same, everybody has ups and downs. I don't know, I think there's a lot of, I think there's a connection there. I think that seeing that connection is important. Authentic. Thanks, Ruthie. I think it's inspiring too, because when you see that things are doable, right? When you look at someone, like let's say you look at something you want or you wish you could do and you go, gee, I'd like to, but I have no idea. Well, if you see someone showing the behind the scenes in the step-by-step, you can see that it is doable, right? I mean, you've watched me talk about 80 handmade gifts for how long now? I mean, months and months and months. And because of that, you can see that they were just baby steps that had to be checked off along the way. And, oh, did Sandshell ask a good question? I might have missed it. Please repeat it. Amigurumi is absolutely real crochet. I mean, here's the other thing. Yes, it is. It's cold for me. It's 70. It's 70 this morning. It's not cold. It's just colder than my normal 85 for the morning. Yeah, amigurumi is absolutely crochet. It takes yarn and a crochet hook to make it. If it uses a crochet hook and yarn, then it's crochet. You can't always listen to other people's opinions, that's for sure. Lots of people have opinions, and it really doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. Remember what I say all the time? What is it? Oh, let me think about it for a second. Other people's opinions of me is none of my business. Well, that goes for anything else too. What someone else thinks is crochet or not crochet is entirely their business and does not have to be your business either. So if you think like me, and that if something takes string, yarn, rope, and a crochet hook, if you use ramen noodles and a crochet hook, it's still crocheting. If you use hair and a crochet hook, it's still crocheting. Maybe I should prove that point. I've been wanting to do a video to see what you could crochet with. Maybe it's time to do that. Best way for me to profit to purchase my book. Well, if you buy it on Amazon, they have to take a cut, right? So anytime you buy directly from me instead of Amazon, then Amazon isn't making their commission. But I believe it would probably be, and the ebook as well. Although Ravelry takes a cut, but I don't know, I'll have to see. I'm not sure. But if you're looking for a print copy, definitely ordering from my website and having me sign it for you is better for me than selling it on Amazon. But whatever you want to do is fine. You know, I appreciate you asking, but if it's more convenient for you to order on Amazon, then do that. If you prefer ebook or print book, do whatever you want. Oh, is that what Sandshell asked? Which way I benefited the most? Well, I think that's it in a nutshell. Well, thanks, Lisa. I appreciate it. If you order during the pre-order, I can send you a copy of the ebook for free too. Oh, good. I'm glad I answered it then. Great. No, I don't know if Knitpicks will be picking it up. You could ask them to. I know that it is available for shops to pick up. They can order it wholesale. I don't pursue it marketing-wise, but it is available to any shop. So if you wanted to ask any shop to order it, I also have the ebook set up on Ravelry so that any yarn shop can order it as well. So any yarn shop or Knitpicks or anywhere else, they can order print copies wholesale, and they can also order wholesale on Ravelry. And if anyone's shop needs help figuring out how to wholesale order, please ask them to email me, and I'd be happy to show them how to order wholesale. So all of it's available. What ebook and print book is available for shops. So that means yarn shops or online shops, craft shops, bookstores, anyone can order it. So if anyone needs help with that, please feel welcome to email me, because I would love to get it in more stores. I'm pretty close to the water. I don't think I'm going to get wet. Oh, you know why I look close to the water? It's an incline right here. It's a very sharp incline this morning, so it looks closer than it actually is. I'll lift up the camera. Can you see now? Okay, bye, Raina. Let's show you the beach. Yeah, so anybody that wants to request the book from your craft stores, please feel welcome to do so. It would be greatly appreciated and helpful. The more books I can sell, the more stuff I can do, right? There's the beach to the north of us. You see there's quite a few people walking, but it's way off in the distance. Here's the big, beautiful fireball coming up, but behind clouds, so we can't really see it. Here's the beach to the south of us. We've got a fisherman and a few people walking. So you may be wondering what I meant by what I just said. And so the more books I sell, the more buying power I have, right? So whenever I can become more successful at something, it means I have more buying power to buy better things at better prices, which is all good for all of it. Yes, public libraries can also order my books. It must be the bald cat, yep, and the lack of hair. Sometimes we make the same funny face, my son and I, and we can't even believe how much that face looks alike. Like, we'll take a picture of us together, both making the same funny face, and you can't tell whose face is whose. I know, we're goofy. It's fun though. But it even amazes us how much we look alike, and that's strange. Because you figure when you know people really well, you can see even more nuances that are different than when you don't know somebody well. And even we understand why so many people say we look alike. What was I talking about though? Libraries. I think I was saying that libraries can order my books. I have it set up so that libraries can order. Do not know if Motif Magic was picked up in libraries. I know that they can, so if you want to help promote, because see, now that I am the independent publisher, that means all of my books that I independently publish need to be picked up in all these places. So when you're asking your local yarn shops, your local bookstores, your local libraries to pick up books, please ask them to pick up Motif Magic and 80 Handmade Gifts, and any other titles that I'm working on. The Create, Share, Inspire notebooks you could request for them to pick up as well. In fact, I launched the 3rd volume of Create, Share, Inspire notebook on Amazon this weekend, so if you're ready for a 3rd volume of a whole different curated set of inspirational quotes, that's available. You can always still order the 1st and 2nd volumes as well, because there's still notebooks for writing in, so however you want to do that. If you wanted to get someone a set of them, all the first 3 volumes are now available. And each one has a different photograph on the cover from a different day at the beach here. This 3rd one has with really beautiful colors, and they're all different colors too. Thank you, Lynn. I appreciate it. Lynn's going to ask the person that runs crochet in her library to order my book. Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, I'm interested to see how that process works too. So any information that you can share with me, then we can be able to teach everyone else in the podcast what the tips and tricks were for getting their libraries to pick it up. Good morning, Dee. Oh, Janet, I have not worked on retreat stuff at all. Nope, have not worked on that. I have, as much as I have gotten done in the last couple of months, I've been so short on time because of everything going on in my personal life that hopefully I can start adding retreat information back to my to-do list. In fact, I have a friend who was going to help me, and she got a little bit sick for a while, and then I was dealing with sickness in my family, so I need to reconnect with her and see if we can go on a little research trip up into Fort Myers Beach. See where the sun is reflecting on those buildings up there? That area is Fort Myers Beach, and that's where we're going to go look at hotels for the retreat. Definitely want to keep it on the beach. I think that would be the special part of coming down here. So maybe next week or so I can make a date with her and head up that way. Does anybody have any other questions? Yes, I'm cold, Ann. It's 71 degrees here and it's a little bit damp here at the water, but I'm fine. I'm just a little chilly, and chilly is a novelty for me because I'm not used to it. But if we are out of questions, then we are also out of time. So let's take our last minute. Jane, you got Motif Magic from your library? So it did get picked up. Wonderful. Yeah, anything you can do to help me get my books distributed to bookstores would be greatly appreciated, everybody. Thank you. If you need any help, please send me an email, but we're out of time, so let's take this last minute here. Look out at our gorgeous view. Soak in the sounds of the waves and set our intentions for the day. Thanks so much, everybody, for taking time out of your busy day to spend a few minutes here with me. I hope you enjoyed the sunrise, the sound of the waves, chatting with me and everyone else here. Don't forget, the link to find out more information about handmade gifts is in the top line of the video description below. Let us make time to create, share, and inspire today and every day. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye!